What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Devil's in the Details. I'm BD.
And I'm Dan.
Today, our topic will be, Harley.
Star Wars?
So, of course, we're referring to the Han Solo movie trailer that finally dropped after months of waiting for it. And what can we say about it?
Well, I'm not impressed, first of all. Let's just get that out of the way. I just don't think that the movie is going to be all that great. Visuals look great, but for storyline, I have my doubts.
Kind of looks to me like it's going to be a heist type of movie. We're introduced right away to Woody Harrelson as one of the characters who seems to be playing the mentor to Han Solo. In the trailer, what we see a lot of different things. But one of the things that we do see is what seems to be Han Solo enlisting into the Empire, which would kind of explain his boots and pants.
Boots and pants and boots and pants.
Yeah, but I have an issue with that because if he's enlisting to the Empire, as an adult, because that's when we see it happening, saying, I want to be the best pilot, or that's at least what we assume from the trailer.
I'm gonna be a pilot. Best in the galaxy.
And we also hear earlier that he's been smuggling since he was 10.
I've been running scams on the street since I was 10.
Chances are, the Empire knows that he's a smuggler.
Well, this is the conversation that me and Dan had, was that I think that maybe he's just trying to enlist to be able to get in undercover and sneak in.
Even then, if he's the, renowned smuggler that he says that he is, then he's not going to get in, period. They pull up his file, fingerprint, blood scan, whatever they do for the Empire. I'm sure it's not that high tech, but,
Oh, it's high tech, all right. Like pen and paper.
What's the movie going to be about? Looks like there's a heist in the making, obviously, with the train and everything, and so I'm getting a very definite vibe. I think you are too.
Yeah, it's got a very Fast and the Furious kind of vibe to the whole thing in space.
Did we mention that this took place in space? It did, so shut your face. Also, there were robots and sharks.
You mentioned your theory of what it looks like.
Which is, it looks like a Butch Cassidy, Sundance Kid type of old Western type of movie to me. It's the kind of vibe that I'm getting. So who knows which way it's going to go, but I think definitely there's a heist involved.
These are not the weapons you are looking for.
All right, so obviously also that comes with a lot of Hollywood movies these days is a lot of controversy and baggage. In this case, the two directors, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, were both fired from the movie. Now, if you guys don't know these guys, they're the guys behind 21 Jump Street, the Lego movie, and the firing comes at 3 weeks left to shoot the movie. And then Ron Howard was hired in as a replacement to reshoot about 80% of the film. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work to go back and do. 80% of a film, you have to consider 80% of a film's budget. So that's bringing all these actors back, all the support staff back, and, just pouring a whole movie's worth of money back into this film to reshoot. All that to still have a trailer come out only a couple months before the movie hits, and everything else kind of just sliding under the radar right now. It just doesn't seem that they have a whole lot of faith in the film.
They don't seem to have a lot of faith in the film. They were known to have said that some executives or some people working under there have said that it's going to be a train wreck or a car crash. And they're not putting any hopes into the movie making any money.
Nobody really wants a film to bomb, and they definitely don't want to brace for it to bomb, but it would explain the lack of advertising that we've seen, because advertising costs a lot of money. So if you want to, hedge your bets and make sure that if the film comes out and it bombs, at least you didn't lose all that advertising money for nothing.
I still want to see the Lord Miller film. That's the movie.
Yeah.
The movie that they seem to have completely reshot. That's the movie that I'd like to see.
Well, it is coming out in the trifecta period within 3 weeks. You have 3 Disney properties coming out within 3 weeks of one another. For end of April, you have Infinity War. For the beginning of May, you have Deadpool. And then for the end of May, you have the Han Solo movie. You're dealing with a lot of crossover with box office results. One's going to step on another's toes very easily.
Yeah, 3 tentpole films coming in 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. within a span of 6 weeks, even less, I think.
Yeah, I think it's about 5 weeks.
I think it's 5 weeks. So yeah, to stick it in that slot, I don't know. We're gonna have to see.
And at the end of that slot, you have to remember that's at the end.
That's true.
People have already gone to see Infinity War
That's
and
true.
gone to see Deadpool. Are they still going to want to go see Han Solo after all this? I mean, those two movies are huge. And then, the movie going public only has a certain amount of funds, and then they're dried up. So you got to wait a little bit longer before you can expect them to go to another big movie like that.
I know, right?
The thing that bothers me about this is that it's a Han Solo movie without Harrison Ford. Now, you got to realize Harrison Ford was in his early 30s when he shot the first movie.
Yes.
So we're supposed to believe that this is Han Solo. It just doesn't track for me. It doesn't work. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you?
Yeah, because early Han Solo would have been Harrison Ford as Han Solo, and now, we're going back to
a completely
not really
different actor.
retcon the whole thing, but we are retconning the actor.
So
kind of like they did with Darth Vader at the end of.
I mean, fine. You want to do a Boba Fett movie? The guy's behind a mask the whole time. Great, no problem.
Yeah.
Admiral Akbar movie. Let's go. I mean, what the hell?
Young Obi-Wan.
Young Obi-Wan.
Let's
there
face
you
it.
go.
I mean, the internet is craving for Ewan McGregor to take up his role again as Obi-Wan, and it would work.
It would.
It would, because a prequel with Obi-Wan would make sense.
Plus, they can make him a little bit younger with the technology that we
They
have
don't have
today.
to make him younger. It was freaking Alec Guinness
they
that played
needed to.
Obi-Wan in the prequels.
Which is
in the originals.
In the originals.
Not the prequels. They are prequels now, but they aren't still, I guess, considered prequels.
You'll get all mixed up if we keep going. Trust me.
So many movies.
Another little tidbit of controversy, if you will, was the reports coming from within the studio that Alden, the actor playing Han Solo, required an acting and dialogue coach, were most likely thrown way out of proportion, if you ask me. It's I don't think he can act. I think the guy can totally act. I've seen some other stuff that he's done. But I think it was that he couldn't act like Han Solo.
That's the biggest key point to this whole thing, right? I mean, you're having somebody who has to imitate Harrison Ford imitating Han Solo. So, although Alden might be a great actor in his own right, he probably wasn't a great Harrison Ford.
Yes, I bet you have.
And it takes a lot. I mean, there's a lot of confidence and swagger that goes into Harrison Ford's portrayal of Han Solo.
Absolutely.
So you need
Scoundrel.
that. Yeah, you need that scoundrelness.
So if they were able to imbue some scoundrelness into him, or maybe he's not even a scoundrel yet. Maybe what happens is in this movie make him the man that we all know and love, make him become Han Solo.
I don't know. Once again, I'm going to point to the trailer. Smuggling since he was 10. So he's been a crook. I mean, it could be a lie, but it's actually, you know what? It could very well be a lie.
It's Disney. Who knows where we're going with this?
Yeah, he's got to be a good guy at the end after all, right?
My thoughts on who they chose for the part, Alden, like I said.
I don't know him.
Well, that's the thing. Not a lot of people
don't know him.
Who?
Which is probably a good thing, because you don't have any preconceptions going in about a certain actor. If you don't really know a lot of their work, you're just going to kind of go in with a fresh slate. Same thing that they did with Daisy Ridley. She's been in a few things before, but mostly unknown before hitting Star Wars.
A lot of times this worked out for Star Wars with Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, and Harrison Ford. So again, they're using a lot of not that many actually, to be honest with you. I love that they've included Danny Glover. I've told you this before. I think that his Lando will be a much better Han Solo.
Well, his Lando will be a better Lando than Han Solo will be Han Solo, I think is what you mean.
That's what I mean.
Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to give him enough screen time. I don't think he has a whole lot of speaking lines in this, despite the whole hype that Danny Glover is playing Lando.
And that's where I disagree with you.
Yeah, I'm calling it. I'm saying 15 minutes of screen time at the very highest. And if I'm wrong, I'd be so damn happy because
I'm saying 20 minutes minimum. Set your bets.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
And
set
then
our
come back.
stopwatches out when the movie comes out.
Yeah. Thanks, Harley. Coming back to the trailer. We get a look, finally, at the Millennium Falcon, which looks stunning.
Yeah, like it's fresh off the factory floor, still has that new Falcon smell.
Unlike what it looks like in the most recent films, which is like it spent a year in the underwater swamps of Dagobah, just resting at the bottom.
Yeah, and there are parts on it now that were missing in all the future films, so that's something that we want to bring up too.
Actually, I have a theory.
Okay.
Escape pod. That slit that's missing, that's there. The slit that is missing now at the tip of the... Okay.
Yes, I know what you mean. You think that's an escape pod?
Could be.
I think they ran it into another ship.
It could be. Oh, did we mention spoilers?
Well, I mean...
Possible spoilers?
Spoilers. This is all, random theorizing at this point.
Absolutely.
But there's also the cockpit, which looks completely different.
It does.
So, did that get smashed up in the Han Solo film? I guess we'll have to wait and see.
We'll see.
Do we have any news on the dice?
Well, again, I have a theory. Those are the dice that he used to win the Falcon.
You think so?
I think that in the game of chance with...
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay, like if he was playing, craps. There we go.
There we go.
Craps.
We play a lot of
so much gambling.
Yeah. Just
Winners.
me and him Vegas
Winners.
all the time.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, including the dead bodies in the desert.
Yeah.
So if he was playing craps and he grabbed the dice and
that's what. Yeah, that would
gilded them as a
that-
souvenir.
That would explain why they're recurring. They're in the trailer. They were in The Last Jedi. They were in the other movies.
Yeah, but they were really, really subtle in the other movies.
Yeah, well, I don't think they had planned. I think now they're. I mean, if I was gold mining Star Wars and writing a script for it, what do you think
Yeah,
I'd
you
do?
go look
I'd
for
be like,
the
"Hey!"
tiniest little things that you can find.
Absolutely, absolutely, and bring them to the foreground and go. Remember?
Right?
How cool is that?
I remember.
You remember?
Greatest hits, of course.
Good point, Harley. Thank you. Greatest hits. I mean, come on. What are we going to see? What can we expect? What I think some of the things that we're going to see. Obviously, the meeting with Lando.
I'm wondering actually if the meeting with Lando is more of a meeting of old friends as opposed to new friends. Because I have a feeling that, Lando says in the original trilogy that he lost the ship to Han in a gambling game match thing, whatever. But
Craps.
Who would bet their ship? If they were friends, if he knew it was staying within the circle, that's one thing, right? But if it was just going to some random stranger, I don't think so.
Depends what
I
the
wouldn't
stakes,
bet my ship.
But it depends what the stakes were, what else was on the table.
Yeah, I guess.
Probably wasn't just the ship. Han Solo and Chewie.
I think we're going to see where that life bond maybe happened. They may have known each other, I think, in the in the universe already. I don't know if they're going to be meeting, but I think this is the part where Han saves Chewie's life and that bond really happens between the two of them.
I think so too. I have to agree with you on that one. I think we're going to see the Chewbacca rescue and the life debt and the friendship begin right there.
All right, pal. All right.
As for other characters that we may see, say Jabba the Hutt, I have a feeling that there's going to be some history there that we'll probably see him.
Maybe we'll see Greedo. Maybe we'll see...
I'd like to see some of the other smugglers, absolutely. I would definitely like to see Greedo. I'd like to see the hatred between the two of them. I mean, he does shoot him after all, no matter how they retcon it in later versions of the film. Han straight up kills Greedo, and I would love to see the just animosity between those two.
The pre-existing hatred for each smuggler. Okay, I'm not sure. I think we did have this conversation about the Kessel Run. I think it's going to be in the movie.
Give me the cash.
It's a very good possibility. It'd be nice if they put it in to actually finally see it after, so many films and TV series, specials and whatnot, to finally have the Kessel Run front and center on something, which could be what this whole movie is actually about. You were mentioning that it could be a heist movie. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the Kessel Run, the big Kessel Run heist movie.
They should retitle right away.
Yeah.
Big Kessel Run heist movie with Han Solo.
You know what? I would go see that. I'm not lying. I mean, that would bring me into a chair on opening day. If they were to say, this is the Kessel Run, this is the story of the Kessel Run, I'm there. I'm done.
That would be cool.
No teasing it. Just tell people straight up, this is the Kessel Run story. This is how everything happened. Go. And you would put way more butts in chairs with that, I think, than what they're doing with these teasers so far.
And with that said, what do you think the Kessel Run was smuggling?
I'm going to say people.
I'm gonna say drugs.
I'm thinking they're smuggling people just because that...
Because it's Disney.
Well, one, because it's Disney. That is a very, very good point. But two, because in a lot of instances, smuggling people is a lot more dangerous than smuggling drugs because you can just dump drugs in space. Not so much people.
Well, you could. It's just...
You could, but you still kind of get caught because they'll get picked up and be like, hey, it was that guy.
Kill them all.
All right, I have one last one for the greatest hit segment part. I think that we're going to see the origin of the chin scar.
It's very possible.
They did it for Indiana Jones, and I think they're going to do it for this.
It's very possible. I'd like to see something, some sort of reference to it.
That scar, that's sexy.
Continuity so far in the new Star Wars films hasn't been great.
It's been horrible, especially in The Last Jedi.
So I don't know if they've even remembered to do anything for the chin scar. That is my concern, is that they just forgot about it. You know, they'll bring in these freaking random dice off the Millennium Falcon that, you know, were in a frame of a shot from 30, 40 years ago at this point, but they'll forget about the bloody chin scar.
I don't know, we'll see.
Yes, we will.
But you know, let's all come back after the movie's released and see how many hits and misses we got
yeah.
during our little debate here today.
I'm bored. New segment.
We can't have a show without mentioning Destiny. So we've got a Destiny minute. So this week there was a new patch and they dropped emblems on us.
Yeah. Emblems.
Emblems.
I'd like to point out something. Wait, before we grieve for the loss that are the Guardians of Destiny 2. I'd like to bring it back to Destiny 1. I played 5 minutes of this. 5 minutes on a character that BD so graciously made for me and has been playing and leveling up for me so I can help raid with the rest of the clan. And it's so much better. It is so much better than Destiny 2. So that's what we're going to be. We're going to be playing Destiny 1. And for Destiny 2, well, until something really amazing happens, I guess that's just going to be it.
Bad, Bungie. Bad.
Thanks again for tuning in, guys. Really appreciate it. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Please leave comments down below. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, tell us what you think. And, you know, if you have any opinions or any predictions for the next movie coming up, let us know. We'd love to hear it.
Thanks again to our patrons.
Yeah, our patrons who have helped us out every month so far. We really love you guys.
Thank you. We love you. Good night.
Good night.